Another team that's got some question marks coming into this year, like all teams, the Waywayseecappo Wolverines. They started off really hot the last couple of years and then kind of faded as Christmas time came and went, and then they really stumbled in the playoffs last year. Darnell, you've seen them more than Kevin and I. What can you say about Waywayseecappo and where they're trending? Are they the team from the first half of the year, or are they a team that we've seen in the back half of the year, including the playoffs?
One of the things I saw in their transition from their hot play in the first half to ending up 14 points behind first place in the West was they just looked like they were out of gas. I think they used a lot of their energy in the first half to get off to that good start. They weren't a team that was blowing by you by any means. They're one of those teams. They're gritty sandpaper. They had a lot of they had some awesome firepower offensively. Of course, Moffitt, Schindel, Boston Bird, some decent goaltending, but I think they ran out of pace at the end of the day. You saw Capital's team in Verdun who liked to push the pace. They like to use their speed. They ended up sweeping the Wolverines in the first round of the postseason, which was certainly, I think, a shock to most, especially if you look at the standings. But I think at the end of the day, with where hockey is transforming to on a year-by-year basis, it's getting away from those big bruiser type of players, and it's going to highly skilled, quick, fast, that can play 200 feet game and transition from that defensive zone to offensive zone quickly. So I think if you're Wayway, Taylor Harnett knows what he's doing, Josh Lee as well. But I think this is a team that has to come out with a little bit more speed this season. If they do, they're going to be better off.
Kevin, Waywayseecappo used to be a place you would be surprised guys went to or agreed to go to in trade or once recruiting. Not so much anymore. This has been a program that's worked very hard to build up its reputation. And do you see it starting to pay off with more guys coming their way, starting last year and the year before, and more of it building in the years to come?
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, Colton Schindel found his way there last year. I know there's deals coming through this year too. And, speaking with some of the players there over the break, it further to Darnell's point about the skill, size, and speed of players. It's also today you talk to every coach and they talk about compete, they talk about attitude, they talk about character. And one thing I know they're focusing on there is getting the type of characters in there that create an environment that people want to, feel comfortable playing in and want to strive for success. And I've seen that growing there. And if you remember after the showcase last year, there was a bit of movement at the end of that. There was a few players that were transferred in and out. And I think since then they built a bit of a culture there. And I know that they're moving towards a super solid hockey program. Everything they've done over the summer has impressed me. And I think they're actually going to be one of the teams to be reckoned with in the West this year. Fantastic kids there. You talk to a kid like Andrew Boucher, a lot of skill there. He's a phenomenal human being. And I think they're going to have a roster full of those moving forward.
Darnell, this is probably not a fair question to ask you, but I'm going to anyway. Like Kevin said, this is a team that should be taking that next step. How do the Waywayseecappo Wolverines build fan and community support and get people to that building, which they've put a lot of work into? It's a very good building. How do they get more people into that building to see the team that could be a wrecking ball this season?
I think it's just that. I think it's just realizing how much work they have put into that facility. I know in my first couple of years in the league, I was literally in the stands in the corner doing a broadcast. Now they have built a beautiful broadcast booth for 3 broadcasters if need. They have the coaches room up there. They have a VIP room. They've painted. It really is a beautiful facility. And there's nothing but great things from outgoing players, graduating players about this program, that they are heading in the right direction. They're treated well. They're treated the right way. They're given an opportunity to play the game they love for at the everyday at an elite level. At the end of the day, it's a pretty good opportunity for these, 16 to 20-year-old kids to live out their junior hockey dreams. I think for the community, support hasn't been phenomenal. I mean, when it comes to attendance, they're probably averaging in that 300 to 400 range a game, but they also have those passionate fans that are loud. They sit usually right in front of the broadcast booth, and they're pretty raucous, and they like to heckle as well. So overall, it's a really good atmosphere in Waywayseecappo. I love how they have sort of turned that program around. You mentioned players maybe at times didn't want to go there. Now you're seeing top end players end up as a Wolverine. So that's kudos to that organization. They changed their jerseys. They've done everything properly. They've done it the right way. They've respected the process. And I think it's a process that's going to continue to lead them in the right direction.